Mark Skaar with Rock and Roll Hall of Famer and the voice of rock, the legendary Glenn Hughes. Glenn, thank you so much for joining us.
My pleasure indeed, Mark. Good to hear your voice again.
We want to start by talking about something you just did in a beautiful, beautiful rendition of Roxanne for Rock Against Trafficking.
Yes, and who wouldn't want to be part of such a great cause that needs awareness? Coming into this, I knew we were going to do something on behalf of those that need help and to educate people on human trafficking, which is such an unthinkable thing. So I was asked to go to a studio in Malibu. Gary Miller lives next door to my best friend, Chad Smith. Mm-hmm. I met Gary at a New Year's Eve party at Chad's house in 2011. So I go into his studio, and he asked me if I would sing a Sting song, and I chose Roxanne. I thought, hey, I'll give it a crack. I'll give it a go, And it took 2 takes, and I did the track, and it was very organic, very live, and with a song such as that, where it's a definitively, obviously a big selling radio song. Mm-hmm. What I wanted to do, and you can hear it on my version, you have to keep to them. You can't change a melody, and who would want to?
Right.
All I did was add my own timbre and tone to the vocal performance, and some other bits and pieces that are very much Glenn Hughes, but Sting wrote an amazing song, and we wanted to pay respects to that.
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's I was just wowed. It's so fantastic. You just knocked it out of the park.
I don't know if you know, Mark, I've done 3 or 4 other covers. I've done Whiter Shade of Pale, and I've done, Mr. Mountain Hot for a Movie with Chad Smith and Jerry Cantrell. I've done Nights in White Satin for a movie. Mm-hmm. For Stealth with Jamie Foxx, and I've chosen, covers that are is he going to sing that? And it's like what I do is I bring my own thing to it, and it seems to work, So, but I do choose them carefully, So hopefully that will continue.
So next I want to move on to the just released Joe Satriani, What Happens Next. I talked to Joe back in October, and we talked a little bit about your involvement. This is interesting, Glenn, because this is the first time where you're playing bass but not singing.
No, and I did tell Joe at the start of the album, I kind of joking with him. I said, I've done over 150 albums in my lifetime. And I've always sang. I've never not been singing. And he chuckled a little bit, and we're getting close to finishing the album. And I said to Joe very gracefully, I said, you don't hear a vocal anywhere on this album? And he said to me very, very cool, he said, and this is great, he said, Glenn, you've been actually singing whilst playing, and I've been sort of like taking your vocal parts and adding them to my guitar arsenal. So, it was great to be of service to Joe on this incredible record. And, I really did enjoy playing. I didn't expect to be singing on the album, but it was funny that I never got to sing, but I really did enjoy playing bass on that really cool record. It's fantastic.
Yeah, he told me that very same thing. So, obviously, Chad Smith pulled you in with them being together in Chickenfoot and you working with Chad on records.
Joe asked me to do this album in 2012 when Joe and I celebrated Marshall in London at Wembley. And Joe and I played together that night, and he said to me, I want to do a record with you one day. I said, well, just let me know. And here we are, a few years later, and we made this great record.
We're talking with Glenn Hughes. I want to jump to Black Country Communion 4. Maybe some people thought this record would never be made. I think it might be your best one yet, and you had a very successful run of shows that you just got done with.
Yeah, I mean, when Joe this is the story. Is when I got inducted into the Hall of Fame in 2015, Joe was the first one to call me. I was in New York, and he called me up, and I said, thank you. And he said, when you get home to L.A., can we have dinner? I said, sure. And we went and had dinner, and we were having a nice dinner. And he asked me if I would like to do album number 4. And I said, yes. But it has got to be groundbreaking, epic. It's got to be something that is worthy of making a great album. So he came over to my home, where I have this studio. He calls it the Magic Room. And, we wrote, this is the first time we wrote an entire album together, because I do a lot of the writing for Black Country. Mm-hmm. And I said to Joe, it would be great if you and I could write this alone together at my place. And that's what we did. And Joe and I feel that this could be our best work. The shows we've just done in the UK were off the charts. They were so great. And it's a good album, and it really is a great testament to Joe's and I as writing partnership. I may be playing with the greatest rock blues player of his generation, mm-hmm. and it just signals me to go. I'm not frightened to go searching for more. As far as and by the way, Mark, I will be a student of music. A student of vocals until they throw dirt on me at the end. I will always be studying. I will always be learning, always be reaching out, and long may that continue.
Talking with Glenn Hughes, I'd be remiss if I didn't give you a little bit of a chance to talk about your last solo record, which was Resonate.
Wow, just talking about that with my manager. That's an album where I completely wrote the album alone. Every piece of music is written by me, and lyric, produced it. And it's an album that I hadn't made an album in 7 or 8 years, and I wanted to go in the studio and just unleash some songs which I thought needed to be heard. And it's been a very successful record for me as a producer and songwriter. So, I wanted to... I think it really established, again, who I am, and I'm really happy with that album. I really love the album.
Something cool you did a couple of years ago, and we gave great airplay to, was something you did with Billy Ray Cyrus and Bryan Adams called Hey Elvis.
Yeah. Billy's a good friend, and Brian's a good friend. Brian wrote that song 20-something years ago, and Billy had it in his vault, and... was over at Billy's house, and he asked me if I would put together a little combo to record with him on that song, and I did. And I sang, as you can hear, I sang the song for him. It was interesting for me because Billy wanted to stretch out a little bit and do something with more rock roots, and he came to me and asked me if I would be interested in doing that for him, and that's of course, And I just think, for me, again, what I said to you a couple of minutes ago, learning more about my craft, whether obviously I've played with techno bands, I've played with metal bands, I've played with Stevie Wonder, David Bowie, and now I'm playing with a country music artist. Mm-hmm. It's a nice journey for me, so, yeah, it's cool.
And the dogs want attention.
The dogs, they just love me on the phone.
Now, coming up, you're going to be doing the classic Deep Purple stuff later this year.
I'm doing a 2-year run on this global tour. And the good news is we are going to be playing America. My manager's meeting with agents next week and promoters, and we're going global with this. The reason is that I've never really done a complete Deep Purple show, and I'm not just talking about the songs. I'm talking about production, correct lighting, the same instruments I used back in the 70s. I've let my hair grow again. It's really sort of a production element to what I consider to be the appropriate thing. So for me to do this now, as you know, Deep Purple are coming to a close.
Yep.
The one that's still going. And so I just thought it would be the appropriate time to do a Deep Purple long tour would be now. And, yeah, I'm ready for it.
You sound fantastic. You're my favorite vocalist. You just do otherworldly things. I just love it.
Thank you, Mark.
We'll leave it there. Glenn, thank you so much, and all the best in 2018.
My love to everyone that lives, where you are, man. It's a very special place for me, the Tommy Bolan roots, and it's very, very special. And I love you all, and God keep you safe.
For Glenn Hughes, I'm Mark Skaar.